Another one says it's crazy. Gibby's preaching patience, but when he was a player, he was never patient. He was always losing his mind. I loved watching him jump around and be invested and caring. Yeah, it was a little odd to me that the guy who was like an ultimate competitor is sitting here with a 500 baseball team saying we have the wrong outlook. This one says, Costa, wow, it's amazing that you think you're more knowledgeable than Kirk Gibson. His whole life is in baseball. I've lost any respect I had for you.
Well, and so sometimes I'm cautious when we talk to AJ because AJ knows more about baseball than I'll ever forget.
Gibby knows more too. I don't
Gibby does
fight
as well. And so that's why when you do talk to somebody that has been in baseball their entire life, you can disagree with them, but they're coming from a position of much greater knowledge than we have.
But what point did Gibby make that was like, gotcha, you guys have been missing this all along? Like, I don't think he did.
We have not, I don't think, been quite fair to them in terms of the contribution that Vierling has made to the success of the team this year, okay? And that was his initial reason for calling. And then he started going down the road of, well...
Old war stories, yeah.
Well, right. The Tigers don't have what the 84 Tigers... They don't have him. They don't have but...
Tom, you know what happened 40 years ago today?
Right.
And that whole thing.
It doesn't apply. It was a great moment in my childhood on a Monday night, but guess what? You know, maybe Matt Vierling's a Dave Bergman on this team, but you don't have the stars that were on that team. And we don't know if we have any stars. This team right now, here's the deal. He knows more baseball than any of us will ever know combined. It's not even close. But you know what you couldn't do yesterday? You couldn't get a real answer from him if you put him in a bad spot asking him about Torkelson.
Yeah, he glossed over it, moved on, disagreed with it.
Right, exactly.
Which it's prerogative. But
here's what this team's fighting. They're 500, and I believe it's miraculous based on your projected cleanup hitter and projected leadoff hitter are in Toledo after 2 months. I think you'd be surprised if I'd have told you this is how that would play out. Right?
But if management's going to sell me this is a developmental year and you tell me the leadoff hitter and the cleanup hitter are in AAA, I'm going, that's not a great season. I don't know why I'm supposed to be more positive.
Well, and we did the whole fact or fiction thing before the season started. And there was a lot of things in there about will they be above 500 or below 500? And we all had our answers. But if some of those questions had been, hey, fact or fiction, Spencer Torkelson is going to be in AAA before the All-Star break. I got to believe most of us, if not all of us, would have said fiction. Nobody would have believed that was going to be the case.
Right. That is a jarring, bad thing that happened to this team.
Right.
A cornerstone player has been sent down for the second time in 3 years, and I've got a legend calling in trying to tell me that I should be more positive. I have to disagree as respectfully as I can, knowing that that's Kirk Gibson. I am not going to change my opinion because I feel like he didn't stand on any business. He just called in and wanted us to be nicer. I mean,
I think developmental year may be the wrong wording more than finding out.
AJ said last week it's a developmental year to us.
I know.
He said, to be clear, I don't want to misquote him. He said, not at the they still want to win, was essentially what he said. But he acknowledged it's a developmental year. Scott Harris has said it. We're still trying to find our foundation. We haven't earned the right to challenge in the division. It's no secret this is a developmental year. So then why is your cornerstone in AAA? Because it's baseball and it happens, but that's not a good thing, and we shouldn't act like it's a good thing.
Right. None of us are completely writing him off yet, but it doesn't look good. You know, I think he's got problems between the ears. Maybe, look, the bottom line with this team is the core, what's supposed to be the core is failing them. And I don't think it gets enough attention. This team, if they were just getting minimum expectations from these guys, they'd be 5 to 10 games above 500.
Tom, I know.
And so he called to defend Vierling, and that is a positive. Canna's contribution is a positive. How about Perez coming up? People wanted Malloy sooner. Well, okay, Perez came from Meadows, right? Mm-hmm. And now Malloy's come from Torque. You got to realize how long it takes for an organization. They're going to be more patient when you have your leadoff hitter and cleanup hitter, and you come to the realization as a manager and a general manager that we have to send them down. We've given them every single chance. It's taken 2 months for that to play out. That's why these guys took longer to get up here, especially Malloy. But we don't know what – the whole thing is if they don't earn their way back, they shouldn't be on the roster next year. It's this offseason. It's buying out bias this offseason.
There's value in figuring that out. If that's the story they want told instead – You tell us if we're missing the mark. 248-539-9797. Was Gibby right? Where was he right? Where was he wrong? I'm sure you've heard the call by now. I know Mike and Rico talked about it yesterday. Rieger and Wojo and Rieger, they had a good time with it. Free Press wrote about it. We'll keep talking about it.